it's Rena, and today I want to talk about why 2024 sucked. Okay, it didn't suck, it just wasn't great. It was great for certain reasons, but I would say it sucked for a lot more reasons. I kind of want to do like a deep dive into some reasons I think this might have been, because I don't think it just sucked for me. I think it sucked for everyone. Maybe me. Hopefully not just me. I just feel like 2024 was a rougher year than usual. And let's bring back 2019. So in this video, we're going to go through a couple of different topics. On the agenda is routines, friendships, procrastination nation, influencers and celebrities, the social culture versus the online culture that's going on, the freaking global economic crisis, and then the result of all of this. So stay tuned and buckle up because this one's going to be a wild one. Let's just dive into routines for a sec. Actually, this is not going to be a sec. It's going to be kind of a long time. Basically, back in 2019, I just feel like I was able to do a lot more, like flawlessly. And when I say that, I mean, I was waking up literally at 4:30 and my butt was in the gym at 5 a.m. every day, including on the weekends. How is this possible? And the gym wasn't like in my building or anything. I actually had to drive to it. I also was able to achieve 10K steps without really even trying. I went on morning walks with my mom every day and I got coffee and I just felt so happy. Believe it or not, I even went to the gym 2 times a day. I literally would go in the morning at 5 a.m. and then I would go during my freaking lunch break. Let's not talk about how psycho I was during that time for fitness. None of it worked. And also, don't even get me started, but actually, I'm gonna get myself started. I literally used to have plans every single night. Like I had a calendar and every night I had plans with friends. Sometimes it was even back to back. I would meet up with one friend for 1 hour and then meet up with a different friend for another hour. And that was my whole life. Like every single day, I would always have plans, whether it's with family or friends. And then I fast forward to this year and it's just crickets. It's literally crickets all around. No one wants to hang out anymore. No one wants to make plans. No one goes downtown. That's just like a foreign concept nowadays. And it's also been a real pain to actually try and stay on a certain schedule or routine lately. In terms of waking up on time, tracking my macros seems impossible daily, and I haven't even done it today, and it's already like sunset. The simplest things that I used to find so much pleasure in doing, like my journal or my day planner or my gratitude journal, I haven't done it in like 2 months, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself. And it's because I'm constantly feeling like I'm in this endless cycle of catch-ups and trying to finish a task before I get to that part of my life, which is honestly like the simplest part of life. Write in your journal for 5 minutes before bed, maybe sipping a chai latte, saying hey, and then going to bed. Just feels like the things that were so easy to be in routine and standard back in the day just seems so unattainable nowadays, and I don't really know why exactly that is, but I definitely am falling like victim to it. And I just don't know what it is about 2024, but it just feels impossible to hold myself accountable for anything, and it wasn't like this literally any other year. I don't know what it is. Special year, I guess. I don't know. Or worst year. So basically, that's the routines part of it. Now let's get into the friends part. This year, I'm happy to say I made the most friends I've ever made in my life. This year, I'm also sad to say I lost the most amount of friends I've ever had in my life. I'm always the one that stays in contact and sends out the first messages, tries to make plans with people, but something is off this year. I'm okay with that, and usually it's very reciprocated, but this year it just feels like there's no like pull and tug on either end for anyone. And all of my friends can literally vouch for this, that it's just like a honestly global thing. No one is really eager to see anyone anymore. No one's very eager to go to each other's houses. Like me and my best friend used to go over to each other's houses like 3 or 4 times a week, like actually an unhealthy amount. But it was so normal and it was so natural to do that. It just felt like the right thing. I think part of that issue is that we never fully recovered from COVID-19. I think it gave everybody a very good reason to stay home, and it put a new emphasis on this thing called self-care. Except it's not the self-care that is perfectly correct. It's kind of skewed in the wrong direction. A lot of the times people start staying home instead of seeing friends for Netflix nights and just face masks. And I totally get that. And I think that's cool. And I actually love like staying home and doing Netflix nights and doing nothing and having a pizza, you know, but I can't do that every night. And I think it's sadly justified nowadays to do that every night. And I don't know why that is, because that just takes away from all of your socialness. Like it always makes me think, like, when do the friends come in? Like, if you're taking all of this self-care time, when do you have time to spend some time with your family or that kind of stuff? And that's where a lot of the friendships that I've had, I've just kind of either let them go or made new ones. And it's not to say that I hate the person or that they didn't like me or whatever. It was just a matter of priorities, I think. Also, I'm just way too extrovert. I think during COVID-19, this thing that we now know as a social battery was created, and suddenly people lack it. And it's okay if it has to be that way. It's just kind of sad that it's not the way it used to be, in terms of everyone wanting to go out and everyone wanting to go to parties and hang out at each other's houses and sleepovers. And if you were having a movie, you were having a movie night with your friends and you were going out to the movie theaters. Although a homegirl does like going to get popcorn from Cineplex, going home and lounging on the couch to watch a new movie, I'm not gonna lie. But I'd much rather do it with friends, you know? So it's not to say that I think it's because people are growing up. I think it's because we lost something during COVID when it comes to being social, and I don't know if that construct is going to come back or not. I'm really hoping that it does, but I think that's where we're at right now, especially in 2024. Then we go into procrastination nation. Okay, this is the time to say, tell me I'm wrong, but I think I've had the most motivation this year ever, in terms of watching content about people telling me that I'm a lazy shit that needs to get up and do stuff, but also tell me that this is the year that I have had the most procrastination in my life to do anything. And whether you want to blame that on social media or laziness, I don't know about you, but I feel like my to-do list is constantly growing. No matter how many times I check off something from my to-do list, there are 17 more tasks on the way, and it feels like I've done nothing. And like, the to-do list grows with stupid tasks that shouldn't even need to be like tasks, but for some reason they just take so much out of people. One of them is like texting people back, and I am a shitty texter, okay? I'll admit that. But it's never been this bad, like to a point where I have like 79 messages on my phone and I didn't even read half of them. Or it's like emails that pile up and you have all these emails that you need to answer, but suddenly, like, when one stacks, another stacks, another, and then suddenly you're like, oh my god, now I have like 13,000 emails to go through in no time. But don't you feel like this was never like this before? Like, and I know it's not just me. I know it's everyone else, because I've seen y'all's phones. I know how many messages you have from emails. Okay, I've seen it. But then it's also filled with so much motivational content on social media that's telling you that you're a lazy shit and get up and do something. You have Pilates princesses telling you that you can have it all. You have gym rats basically telling you that your diet is great one day, and then the next day your diet is shit and you need to become a carnivore, or you need to be keto, or you need to be this and this and this. And you listen to it because you think that they know everything, and you actually put faith in hoping that they do. I think at the end of the day, it's almost, on social media, too much information to process. And that's not just all types. It can be just like one avenue of them in terms of motivational content that you don't even think is motivational, but it is. Even day in the life, seeing somebody wake up at 4:30 or 5 or whatever, and they have their whole day and they get all of these things done, it makes you feel bad if you haven't done that. Or if you actually watch a reel that like has a blurb there that says like, millionaires get up at 5 a.m. and what are you doing? And you're like, oh shit, like I should get up too. I don't know. And then it's just like really nice content that I look at and I envy almost, to see Pilates girls and gym girls like killing it at the gym or killing it in Pilates, and I want to be like them. And I don't know, in a sense it feels unattainable. So maybe makes you feel like pressured to want more or do more, even though like in your own sense you are actually doing the maximum that you probably are doing or could do. But when you see somebody else's life mapped out and it looks pretty cookie cutter perfect, actually not even cookie cutter, they just look perfect, that just makes you feel worse about yourself, I would say. And it makes you procrastinate more, because you're like, well, I didn't do it today, so I guess I'll do it tomorrow. Or if I didn't get to where that person is, there's no way I'm getting there tomorrow. Maybe I've fallen victim. I'm not going on a rant, I swear. But I just feel like 2024 was the year where I had all these goals mapped out, and then I almost felt like a lot of them I gave up before I even started them, just because I felt the pressures of social media or laziness or just too much motivational content coming in, not enough going out, I guess. I don't know. Then we have the era of influencers and celebrities, now that we're on this topic. I'm gonna give a very unpopular opinion, I think. But the era of influencers today kind of saddens me a little bit, if I'm being completely honest with myself. There are influencers that I used to look up to when I was younger, and some of them are like Adeline Morin and Will Tennyson. Oh my god, now that I think about it, aren't they both from Toronto? Lit. But I loved their content, and I love how like thought out their ideas are and how well produced their videos are. Like, it just takes so much time and effort that I always think about to do this stuff. Like, I swear Will has a video and it's like, I'm trying this for a month, and I'm like, god damn, this man planned this for a month? What? Couldn't even plan my day for a day. But anyway, their content is like motivating, but it's also something that you might envy or you aspire to, that you want in your life. And I definitely looked at them like that. However, I think on Instagram, a lot of the videos that we see nowadays are kind of mass produced, and they are pretty cookie cutter, and they are very much within an algorithm of whatever TikTok or Instagram wants to see. So if people are doing the same content and it's just viral, then that's what everyone's doing, and that's the trend that everyone's hopping on. And I can safely say that I've done the same thing, and I probably will still keep doing the same thing, because some of them are interesting, but to say the least, it's not different. It's a lot of the content is very much similar to each other nowadays. I think there's a lot of content that lacks faces and personalities and voices, and it's hard nowadays to, I guess, understand what the actual channel or who that person is. I think the reason that this happens so much, and I do it too, I think it's super relatable, all of the content, even the Pilates stuff and the gym stuff and all of that stuff that you still like want to achieve. I think it's so much more relatable compared to what influencers used to be, which is people that had all the money in the world and they were billionaires, and you were looking at the day in their life and you were thinking to yourself, god damn, I'm never gonna have that, but I want it. And to be fair, the secret part of us wants that too. At least I hope. Well, I do. I don't know. And I want to see that content, but it definitely does feel so unrelatable in terms of everything that's going on in the world, that I think, well, I can't relate to that, but I can relate to Pilates Princess, and I can go to the gym a lot, and I can get motivated, and I can do a kitchen thing, video, cooking recipe, I don't know. So my point is, I love the influencers that give their full personality. I absolutely love the pull of certain people. Like, I will watch their videos on binge on the freaking treadmill every day. Like, I think there's so many people now trying to be it, and fuck me too. I don't know, I guess different journeys. I guess to wrap that up, I think influencers used to be super unattainable, and they used to be like this aspirational goal that was like almost near impossible to achieve. So now let's address the why. Let's address why we're all relatable and why we all feel these things, why this year has sucked. I think this is where the social culture comes in. Also a little bit of the online culture, but mostly the social culture. So I'm about to get real here. Basically, I think that this year in particular, and maybe even all the years before, like, or after 2019, this started happening, especially during COVID. Depression, anxiety, people becoming homebodies, and work situations like layoffs and terminations. Those are literally layoffs, Rena. Or being overworked and underpaid, and everyone feels that. I felt it too. I think with COVID, depression started a lot in people. Whether you were extrovert, whether you were introvert, you had your own reasons for going through whatever you went through, and it was just such a lonely time. And I think like we went through our self-care and we went through figuring it out by ourselves, and there's a layer that no one really healed from, I guess. It brought on all these issues with people, and it ultimately made a lot of people become homebodies because they felt the safest, the most comfortable at home. And that's okay, but there's a level of antisocialness that went with that, which doesn't help in the long run, especially when you get older and you have less people in your life. And then work was literally you being overworked and underpaid. I don't know how many people are going through this, but I went through this. So if you went through this, you are not alone. But it just sucks. It's like during that time, it was almost like soul draining, and you were already feeling soul drained from COVID and having everything that you felt stripped away. And you're also being overworked at this point, so you can't even think about those things because of that. And I think all of that going together creates a bad situation mentally and socially. If everyone is going through that, that means that everyone is struggling together. And I think that there was a lot of struggle culture that went on TikToks. I actually deleted my TikTok for a brief period of time because it was making me more sad and depressed than I already was. And I was watching TikToks that were like, you're not sad, you're just in Canada, which, to be fair, I literally feel that right now. But it would be like telling me basically that I was depressed or that I was sad for specific reasons that I might not have even felt. But I don't know, this year it just feels like heightened, and a lot of that has to do with social media. And a lot of people feel like if they interact on social media, that is their social battery, and so they don't go out necessarily, they just stay home and they're on TikToks all day. And I get it, because I've fallen in this too, but like that means that you lose that human interaction. And then we kind of get into the online culture of why 2024 sucks. Tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like in social media right now, there is less emphasis on community building and way more on bullying. And I might be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong, because I've seen the comments on people's things and I've like understood, like I've been in games where I've just gotten bullied, just absolutely. I don't play Warzone anymore, y'all. Want to know why? A group of 8-year-olds beat up on me. Like, you look at the comments on some videos and it's just absolute hate for people, and it's crazy to read it. And a lot of them are anonymous accounts and some are normal accounts, but it's like, damn, people, why are we doing that? Like, people gotta be nicer. I think there's also a thing where the wrong things get praised and the right things get canceled a lot of the time. Like, cancel culture is so big now, and people say to speak your mind and say what you feel, and then when you do, sometimes people hate on you anyway, or an entire society just decides that you're not worth it anymore. And I think that's so scary nowadays. And then lastly, I think it pushes unrealistic and unattainable lifestyles with certain content that goes out there on social media in the online world, some of which are overconsumption of things. Like, I've seen a freaking TikTok where a girl was organizing like 7,000 different lipsticks, and I was like, homegirl, why? What do you need all of this for? Unless, like, unless you're a makeup artist, and she wasn't a makeup artist, she was just a normal girl. But it's like, when people see that, like when I saw that, I was like, I need to get more lipstick, and thinking to myself, girl, I have 2 and that's enough. You just need a good lip combo, you know? Maybe, girl, you didn't find a lip combo, I don't know. So some of them just like push a lifestyle that you might not be able to afford, and that's okay. And there's like things that you can do at home that still work, you can still do that. But I get it when I see people's hauls and they buy from websites that are like Aritzia, which is an expensive brand. Like, a box comes in and I'm like, oh girl, how much did you spend? $3,000? Like, what is this? Where'd you get the money? What do you do? I need to know. Which also leads me into the next topic of economic freaking downfall, aka a crisis, y'all. There's inflation everywhere. Everything is expensive. You want to get your groceries? Yeah, pay $1 billion for them. You want a place to live? Rent for $1 billion. Not to mention that people are losing their jobs left, right, and center everywhere, or that you're getting outsourced to random people for less money. And I feel like we can feel it globally, but no one really talks about it much because it's a scary topic, and it's terrifying to think that it's happening almost everywhere. I don't know what's gonna happen in the world, in the next couple of years. I'm trying to secure myself for now, but like, I don't know. The way that this world is playing out is not fun. It's not fun, especially in 2024. And I feel like it's been the worst year. Like, it's just a year where I feel like no one can afford anything, and everyone's kind of giving up on the option of owning homes, at least in Canada. Like, a lot of people are just giving up and they're saying, well, I'm just gonna rent forever. I get it, because it's like, it feels like that alone feels like such an unattainable goal. And so I did a lot of thinking about the result of all of this and where 2024 has gone with everything that's happened, or what's maybe to come in the short future at least. And I think I've narrowed it down to everyone's looking for escapism in some way, shape, or form. And I think the 2 major ones that I've seen this year is an increase in people going on vacations and an increase in people going to concerts. And I don't know about y'all, but T Swift just had a concert, and Homegirl is making bank. Like, I don't even understand how she's selling out all these concerts. Like, big props to her. Like, she's doing the most. Good on you, T Swift. Teach me your ways. I can't sing. But basically, like, all my friends were going. Everybody's in debt, but somehow everyone's spending like over $1,000 to go see Taylor Swift, which made no sense to me, but everyone's going into more debt for it. And like, I literally looked up the concert tickets and they were like $1,800. And you weren't on the floor or anything. It was like crazy. Also, there's just an increase in vacation. I don't know if anyone's noticed it, but I feel like everyone and their mom is going on vacations nowadays. And just literally look at me. I'm literally in Croatia right now. Granted, I'm trying to find escapism through literally escaping, like to find a new home or to find just like a better life or something. I don't know. But it does feel like a global issue right now. And I feel like I get why people do that, because they just feel like you get so cooped up in your place, or you get so stressed out with work that you just want to escape. And so you feel like going on vacation for 4 days to Jamaica is going to solve your problems, but then you come back home and you feel sad again. But like, what is the solution, right? And then for some people, a form of escapism is also like scrolling through Instagram or Reels. And that's why you see so many people spending hours and hours and hours like scrolling through it. They're just looking for a way to unplug their minds for a little bit, because honestly, the reality right now is kind of shit. And that's 2024. Basically. Granted, I want to give a little bit of this video towards why 2024 was also a pretty good year. Crickets. I think there's a lot of opportunities that came from it, because if none of this happened, I guess I wouldn't have even left home. I don't know. Got super into fitness. Like, I think a lot of like social media really helped me with figuring out progressive overload and bulking and cutting and all of this stuff that I didn't really understand before. Like, I just knew how to go to the gym, but I didn't even know what the frick I was doing at the gym. Let me say that. Thank you to all the gym people that helped me, whose names I do not know. I also am so grateful for all the friends that I've made, even though like I think this year was the year of me understanding that it's okay to say no to people, and that it's okay to not be best friends with everyone. Like, I think that's okay now. And this was the year for understanding that, and to let go of relationships that I don't necessarily want or need anymore in life. And I'm grateful for the people that are in my life, that are very close to me, that I share literally everything with. Like, a lot of them I've literally just met and already like best friends with, or sisters, and I love that. And a lot of people trauma bond. Like, I think COVID, and maybe even this year, a lot of people bond together through trauma. That is such a real thing. Ask my work friends. But you like permanently bond to people because of the experiences that you go through together, especially global ones. So all in all, I won't sugarcoat this or anything, but 2024 was not the best year. My vision board was lit though, but I just don't think it was the best year. In terms of mental, I would say. Maybe physical, this was the best year. Maybe not mentally the best year. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy, but I want to like be pretty transparent. And I want to say something that not a lot of people are talking about, but everyone feels. So, well, hopefully, I mean, if everyone else is having a lit 2024, then please hit me up and tell me what you're doing, because like homegirl needs it. Anyway, I think we're gonna end the video around here. If you guys are going through anything, if you are having the most lit time of your life and 2024 is a joy for you, let me know. Comment what's going on in your lives, what's great, what's not great. I'd love to share. I'd love to build a community from that. I don't know. Here's to hoping that 2025 is an amazing one that you just keep growing from. But I think we're gonna end the video around here. I want to say, if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to me, you know where to find me, and I hope to build this community. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.